Hello everyone, ladies, gentlemen, and otaku alike. This is Recall Reviews. Attilio back here again. I recall it for you. Now, due to the current move that I mentioned in the last picking video, the production on my regular content has been slowed down greatly. With that being said, I am still thoroughly planning that themed month I was hinting at last time. I think it's going to be pretty rockin', hint hint. With that being said, it's going to give me time to maybe attempt to reach out to some people who can maybe better the experience. With that also being said, today, on this Sunday morning, I will attempt to bring you another picking video. Again, just a little, insight on my normal Sunday in my everyday life. Alright, well, I'm going to be doing a little voiceover for the duration of this segment. Mainly because the audio didn't come out so well. I got better picture. You can actually kind of see more of what I'm seeing. Obviously, I still need to play around with the camera a bit to get it a little more spot on. But today, you can actually kind of look around with me and see exactly what's going on here at the Dutchess County Flea Market. This is actually one that I go to just about every Sunday. Just kind of quickly fix my knee real quick right there. But this is a flea market that I go to just about every single weekend because I usually always find something new. There's usually always at least one new vendor there that I seem to have either missed the previous weekend or they're there for the first weekend and usually find some pretty good stuff. I got lucky one time here and found a Sega Nomad. When do you ever see those around? At this particular flea market, this is one of my favorite spots to be. I love collecting VHS tapes. I actually have a bunch of old consoles Frankensteined to a 9-inch CRT television with a built-in VCR, so I can watch all my tapes that I still have and will continue to collect. Why? I just like the VHS format. It's just something I wish they would have still continued on. Obviously, it wouldn't have, blown up as big as DVDs or Blu-ray would have now. But how cool would it be if today we had a Blu-ray quality movie on an analog format? I just think that would be cool. I love horror movies, and my buddy Stan here, he has a lot of really great horror movies and a lot of little hidden gem movies. A couple that you're gonna see later on in this video when we do the today's picks section. So yeah, and I'm very proud of myself. I didn't spend a lot of money today. That being said, you can kind of see a little bit of what I got here. And pretty much just walking around. There were a few other stops that I made, but the footage wasn't exactly that great. So with that being said, this is just kind of toward the end now, just kind of heading out and then pop in the car and go. But as far as doing these videos every week, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to do that just because setup does take a little while and not everyone's okay with being filmed or even having their voice captured. So there's always this and that. But this is definitely something I'm going to try and do at least once a month, maybe twice a month, one at the beginning and one at the end. Again, I go to the same flea market every single weekend, just because it's close by and it always has a lot of stuff, and I've never once gone there and not left with at least something, which is pretty impressive, I think. So there's a lot of good stuff that you can find here that is worth showing off. Just maybe you won't want to see the same place every week. That's all I'm saying. So with that said, yeah, just pop everything in the car and let's head out, and we'll get to the today's picks after this quick preamble by me. Alright, well, here I am back from the little trip to the flea market. Obviously, the Beacon flea market was closed today due to being rained out, and it's an outdoor-only flea market. The outdoor portion of the Dutchess County flea market was also closed due to being rained out. With that being said, I still managed to find some good stuff, so let's take a closer look in greater detail at some of the stuff that I picked up. This was really the last thing I found, but I'm deciding to show it off first. I got this Keyblade here. It was cool. It's a really detailed plastic toy, but the detail really impressed me, so I decided to pick it up. Not really too much to say, but rock on with Kingdom Hearts. The next thing we got here is this Midway 3-in-1 plug-and-play game. Joust, Gauntlet, and Defender. I thought this was pretty cool, and I got this in a bundle with a couple other games. I'll probably show those off in a little bit. I figured for $10, why not? Next thing were just a few L brackets. You never really know when you need something like this until you need to fix up something like this up on the wall and just make sure it's there to stay. Up next we got some things that I was really happy I found. This one is Horror Express, starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. A very underrated and not talked about enough horror movie from the 70s. Definitely something to talk about in the future. The next one I picked up here is Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. You gotta love these cheesy titles. Another movie starring Christopher Lee as the title character Dracula. Next up, Dracula and the Undead, another Christopher Lee Dracula movie. He did about 10 of these, only 8 for Hammer Films. Next one up, a Roger Corman produced Edgar Allan Poe Mask of the Red Death, starring Vincent Price. And Vincent Price is a phenomenal actor. Edgar Allan Poe writes fantastic stories, so I decided to pick it up. And speaking of Vincent Price, here we have Vincent Price in The House of Wax, the original movie from the 50s. Some of the younger generation today may not know that there was an original and only think of the remake from 2005. And on that note, talking about Roger Corman, we have Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson in The Terror. This movie is a treat. It's awful in all the best ways, definitely something to talk about in the future. Next thing up, bang! A 4-pack of Hammer films. All of them starring Christopher Lee, so that's something I'm going to enjoy watching greatly. Next up, here's Simpsons Road Rage on PS2, a definite classic must-own. After this one, we got another childhood memory with the Ed, Edd n Eddy video game, also on PlayStation 2. Man, this is still one of my favorite cartoons to this day, though Courage the Cowardly Dog has to be my number one. And right here we got a couple, one PC game, a 2-disc set, I just happened to see this and it was a total impulse buy just because I loved how cheesy the title was. Dungeon Siege. So I decided to pick it up and figured why not. Alright, now these are going to be the last two videotapes, I promise. Small Soldiers on VHS. I feel it's an underrated movie, but most people look at it like an edgy Toy Story, which it kinda is. But it's a really entertaining movie. It's definitely got that special flair. And here we also have the 70s King Kong remake, also a classic in its own right. Now, my big haul today was in the VHS tapes. With that being said, this is the golden gem of today's haul. Yes, a Nintendo Entertainment System, the old school NES toaster. The locking mechanism works perfect, and this was in near mint condition, though I saw the AV cords were broken inside of the jack spots on the side, so that's going to be something I'm going to need to fix. With that being said, this was overall a very good haul today, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what I'm going to do with this Nintendo in the future. So that's pretty much all the stuff that I picked up, looked at in closer detail. Of course, in my opinion, it's all really good stuff, but you know, that's something that's objective from one person or another. Whether you like horror movies or not, you know, like to collect some of the stuff I do, or whether or not you even like old game consoles or not. Oh look, it's the kitty. You believe she's 18? She doesn't even look it. That being said, thank you for checking out this picking video, and there are more projects coming in the very near future. With that being said, other places you can see me. I'm with East Coast Professional Wrestling. There's